students, in this lecture we will see the third step in respiration, that is internal respiration. In last two lectures we have studied about breathing and external respiration. And by breathing, oxygen rich air will enter in the nose or body, and up to external respiration the oxygenated air will reach up to alveoli level, and at the alveoli there the exchange of respiratory gases occurs. By that, oxygen will enter in the alveoli and carbon dioxide will leave from the alveoli. Now, how the respiratory gases are transported in the body? And for their transport, RBCs and plasma are involved in the transport of respiratory gases, that is carbon dioxide and oxygen. First we will see about how the transport of oxygen occurs. Out of 100%, 3% of oxygen is transported in dissolved state by plasma, and remaining 97% of oxygen is carried out with the help of hemoglobin, that is present in RBCs in the form of oxyhemoglobin. It is simple, hemoglobin is bound to oxygen, so the name is oxyhemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a red colored iron containing pigment which is present in RBC and which gives a red color to our blood, and that act as a respiratory carrier. That means for the transport of gases, respiratory gases, hemoglobin is helpful. Hemoglobin has high affinity for oxygen than carbon dioxide. Oxygen can bind with hemoglobin in a reversible manner to form oxyhemoglobin. That means when oxygen is attached to hemoglobin, the structure will be oxyhemoglobin, and due to any reason when oxyhemoglobin dissociate, it will form hemoglobin and set the oxygen free. The reaction is in reversible manner. That means both conditions can occur. Oxygen can bind to hemoglobin and again it can be set free from the hemoglobin. Each hemoglobin can carry a maximum of 4 molecules of oxygen. See, it is a MCQ. One hemoglobin molecule will carry how many molecules of oxygen? The answer is 4 molecules of oxygen as carried out with the help of 1 molecule of hemoglobin. Why? Because one hemoglobin molecule has 4 iron molecules, and each Fe molecule or iron molecule can pick out 1 molecule of oxygen. So it is simple. 4 iron molecules are present, so they will carry 4 molecules of oxygen. There are some factors which interfere the binding, that is the formation of oxyhemoglobin is dependent on. The first point is partial pressure of carbon dioxide, then H plus ion concentration, and third one is the temperature. Oxyhemoglobin is transported from lungs to the tissue level, and at the tissue level it dissociates and it releases oxygen to the tissue. That means oxyhemoglobin, that is one hemoglobin molecules with 4 oxygen, it dissociate and it will separate hemoglobin from the oxygen, and that oxygen is accepted by the cells for next activities. The degree of saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen, it depends on partial pressure of oxygen. But 100% saturation is rare. In alveoli, partial pressure of oxygen is at highest level, it is at 100 mm of Hg. So the saturation is at higher level, 95 to 97% of saturation occurs. As there is a decrease in partial pressure of oxygen, the dissociation of oxyhemoglobin occurs, and when 30 mm of Hg is the partial pressure of oxygen. Saturation is very less, that is only 50%. Next is the oxygen dissociation curve. It is the relationship between oxyhemoglobin saturation and oxygen tension. The curve is called as oxygen dissociation curve. That means on one axis there is partial pressure of oxygen and on other axis there is oxyhemoglobin saturation. This oxygen dissociation curve is sigmoid curve and it is highly useful to study the effects of factors like partial pressure of carbon dioxide, hydrogen ion concentration on the binding of oxygen with hemoglobin. This curve is shifted to right side when there is increase in H plus ion concentration, increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide, rise in temperature and a rise in DGP, that is 2,3-diphosphoglycerate, which is formed in the RBC during glycolysis. Now what is glycolysis? Glycolysis is the breakdown of glucose molecules, and during this breakdown the intermediate product is formed, that is diphosphoglycerate, and when percentage of diphosphoglycerate increases the curve is shifted to right side and it lowers affinity of hemoglobin for oxygen. That means there is dissociation of oxyhemoglobin. In alveoli level where partial pressure of oxygen is high because oxygenated air is entering there, partial pressure of carbon dioxide is low, less H plus ion concentration and low temperature, all these factor favors formation of oxyhemoglobin. That means when partial pressure of oxygen is high, oxygen can easily bind to hemoglobin. Then look at the curve. Here is a curve which is called as oxygen dissociation curve. On x axis there is oxygen partial pressure and on y axis there is saturation of oxygen along with hemoglobin. The curve is sigmoid in shape and it is tilted towards right side. At exactly opposite side on the tissue level, in alveoli partial pressure of oxygen is high, but at the tissue level partial pressure of oxygen is low. Partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high, high temperature and high H plus ion concentration. Due to all this condition, oxygen dissociates from oxyhemoglobin and so that oxygen is released, which is diffused into the tissue cells for oxidation of glucose molecule. बघा आता ॲल्व्हिओलायमध्ये ऑक्सिजनचं पार्शियल प्रेशर हे जास्त आहे आणि त्यामुळे त्या ठिकाणी ऑक्सिहिमोग्लोबिन हा तयार होतो. तर टिश्यू लेवलला पार्शियल प्रेशर ऑफ ऑक्सिजन हे कमी आहे आणि त्याच्यामुळं तयार झालेला जो ऑक्सिहिमोग्लोबिन आहे तो इझिली डिसोसिएट्स होतो आणि डिसोसिएट्स झाल्यामुळं तो प्रत्येक सेलला एनर्जी मिळवण्यासाठी इझिली अवेलेबल होतो. Every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can deliver near about 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues under normal condition. Last slide मध्ये आपण पाहिलं की 1 hemoglobin molecule carries 4 molecule of oxygen. Here 100 ml of oxygenated blood can carry near about 5 ml of oxygen. Then what is Bohr's effect? It is a shift of oxygen dissociation curve due to change in partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood. As partial pressure of carbon dioxide changes, the oxyhemoglobin formation also changes. That means there is formation or dissociation. Second one, that is the Haldane effect. According to him, oxyhemoglobin acts as an acid which decreases pH of blood and due to increase in number of H plus ion concentration or bicarbonates changes into water and carbon dioxide. This is all how oxygen is transported from alveoli to the tissue level with the help of blood. In next slide, we will see how carbon dioxide is transported in the opposite direction, that is from the tissue level to the alveoli level. Okay.